So opening procedures. The first thing that you want to do is go here and get the keys out of the lockbox, the password to the lockbox. So if you don't know it, you better ask a brother or a big or your mother or your pledge educator or your... You should know it. All right, so we just type in the code, press down this little black knob here, and pull at the same time down on the thing. Push it back in. Be sure to scramble the code so nobody else knows what it is, and get the keys to unlock the door, which we have already obviously done. So let's come on in. This is the general setup that it will be when you come here to open for your shift. Notice how the pizza oven, the coffee maker, and all of the coffee pots are on one thing here. And the fridge with the cabinets and muffins, all of that good stuff, including the bagels, are here as well. And down here, we have our second counter that you'll also need to bring up. And don't forget the silver cart, which contains everything that will need to go onto the coffee table. Also, the cart should also have the banner that you'll need to put up as well. So all you got to do is just wheel it on out and follow the instructions after that. Just a reminder, whenever you come in, be sure to count the drawer. Be sure that it's at $150. When opening, you want to make sure that there are specific plugs that go in specific places. So I'll just go over those with you right now. Number one important, that doesn't come up very far. This yellow marker right here, this is for the pizza oven. You cannot put this into the power strip or it'll short circuit it. So instead, we're going to plug it directly into the wall. Next, we want to make sure that our power cord for our refrigerator is also plugged into the power strip. And the coffee maker as well, this one here, into the power strip. This sign plug-in goes into the power strip as well. Then you want to make sure that you just have your power strip plugged into the wall.
Like if people complain the coffee was cold, you just did it right away instead of waiting for it to cool.
Right.
Wait about 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
15 minutes.
20.
15 minutes.
15. Got it. So it's Corey go.
At least 15.
At least 15 minutes.
So basically make that be the first thing you plug in.
Yep. So there you go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi Katie, how are you?
Good. How's the cafe going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. How's class?
Oh, you know, fun.
Yeah, I feel
Always.
it. Woo! So happy my shift's over. About to bounce out of here, you guys.
Wow, this coffee was taken at like 2:05 and it's 3. You might need to refill it.
Okay, if you really want me to, that's fine. Here, I'll help.
Okay, thanks. Oh, we forgot to put all these pieces in here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're so right. Wow, you know, I probably shouldn't have just tried to rush off like that. Because you really want to make sure that before you leave your cafe shift, all of the stocking and proper preparations are done. Because you don't want to leave another brother with all of these responsibilities that you forgot to do at your shift. So this includes making coffee, stocking the fridge. Notice how everything will pretty much be laid out as long as every brother continues to stock hourly. We won't really have to worry about this too much. Here as well, notice the dividers that are separating each of the candy items so you know exactly what goes where. And a key important thing that a lot of brothers forget about is the regular sugar. Notice how in this one we only have the sugar substitutes. These can be found up in the cabinet. So please remember to do this as well. All girls should be wearing their hair up at all times that you're at your cafe shift, and all gentlemen should be wearing hats. However, feel free to do both if you like as well. We're going to start out with the fridge. Notice our new nice fancy fridge actually has a gauge that'll tell you what the degree in Fahrenheit the fridge is at. Make sure that at all times it is below 40 degrees. Next, we want to make sure that we're constantly wiping down. The health inspector actually wants us to do it every hour. So if you have time during your shift, that would be really great. But if not, if you just see that there's a couple of dirty spots, especially on the coffee table, be sure to just wipe them off like so. Next, we're going to go over the bagels. You want to make sure that you wash your hands first. Then put on your gloves. Grab a plate and get the bagel for the customer. Do not let the customer get their own bagel. If you notice that the coffee is running low or that it was made more than 2 hours ago, you want to make sure to refill it. So right here, Katie is going to show you how to step-by-step make a new pot of coffee. So begin by opening this little button and lifting the top up. You want to pull out the center pumper and place it on a clean bowl or whatever is available at the moment, be it a napkin, anything. Don't really want to set it on the pizza maker. Then you want to make sure that you place the pot underneath of the dispenser. This is a very important part because if you don't do this, coffee will start shooting everywhere. And it's really, really bad. I've done it before and it's kind of wild. So you want to make sure that part is done. Next, you want to check the top lever. Oh, what would you call that? What would you call that, Katie?
Oh, the coffee grinder dispenser.
Here we go. You want to make sure that you throw away any of the leftover coffee that was in there.
Make sure you place it in the trash located next to the sink.
Next, you want to get a coffee filter from underneath the right side of the counter. Place one coffee filter inside of the coffee dispenser thing that Katie has shown you. Next, be sure to use the one that is already open. Then you're going to take 3 scoops of coffee and put it into the filter, like so. Next, you want to take your pitcher of water and fill it up with the water fountain. You might find it convenient to do this step at the same time while you're preparing all of your other steps, because it does take a couple of times.
Notice that it will only let you fill to the halfway point. You want to make sure that you do this all the way up to this line. So, let's try it again. Okay, now that we have the water filled, let's go ahead and place it in the coffee maker. Okay, so before we place the water in, make sure we put our coffee grinder filter back in the machine, as so. Next, we want to take our water, and there's a black square, and we want to put the water into this, or we want to place the water in here.
Click, 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 click.
Awesome. Now that it's filled, we have to sit and wait, and your coffee will be ready instantly. Now that our coffee's done, we want to make sure that we put the correct time of when we made the coffee on the coffee pot. As so, we get into this cabinet, find your place chalk, pick whatever color you want, because we like variety here. You want to make sure that you include the time of when we made the coffee. Okay. Whoops, don't forget this thing. Alright, here we go. Ready to sell. And also, only that we normally have 2 filters of coffee, but you also want to include the hot water as well.
When making the hot water, be sure to also use a filter as well, or else you'll get black specks inside of the hot water, and we don't want that. Alright, Say that you accidentally charge somebody the wrong amount or the wrong item, or maybe even they just changed their mind. To do a refund, you'll slide over, notice, to this sidebar here, find your activity that was the wrong one, say these Skittles. And you want to do issue refund. And since they paid in cash, you will again distribute them $1 in cash. If you do it on a Visa or debit card, it is just the same process. We click on here, issue refund, and the funds will be automatically sent back to their card. Please let them know that this might take up to 2 to 3 business days. Note, we don't accept $50 or $100 bills. Pizza will come every day at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Hello, pizza guy.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. The pizza guy will give you a receipt and you want to make sure to tip him $2 every time he comes.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you. Also, be sure whenever you sign the receipt to zero out the tip. Do not put the $2 tip on here because we already did that in cash. Sign it and put it inside of the drawer underneath the change, like so. Once the pizza gets here, you want to make sure that it's at the correct temperature. Also, notice how I'm putting on my gloves without washing my hands first. And this is a big no-no, but I'm not going to do that right now because of the training video. So bear with me for a second. Alrighty, after you have your gloves on, you want to get the temperature gauge and alcohol swabs from the blue counter. Lift up the pizza box on the first pizza that is there. Stick it inside of the center of the pizza. Slightly close the top a little bit. And make sure that it gets up to at least 135 degrees. If it's not, let the committee member know, whoever is going to be there next, or write a note in the cafe log. And then, after you're done, you want to open up the alcohol swabs and clean the gauge. Put it back in its case and put everything back inside of the blue counter. Then we're going to take our pizza and putting it in the available slots inside of the pizza oven, like so. For the record, the pizza oven should always be set in anywhere in between 4 and 5 notches, which is about 135 degrees. Also, anytime that you're dealing with a pizza or you look at the oven, make sure that there's a pot of water. And don't touch it because it's very hot. Just make sure that there is a pot of water there to help keep the pizza nice and fresh. Note that after 4 p.m., we have a special for $1 slices of pizza because we don't want any leftover pizza at the end of the day. The $1 slice button is only for the pizza that is sold after 4 p.m. You'll never use this button in any other case. Before you leave your shift, be sure to stock properly. Notice here in this example, we're running low on Gatorade and water. So let's go to the org room to get some. Hello. So next I'm going to open the fridge and look for some Gatorades. Try not to drop anything, but it's okay if it happens every once in a while. Alrighty. So now that I've grabbed all my stocking items, let's go back to the cafe and put them on in. Oh wait, I forgot to restock. It really makes it easier for everybody else if you go ahead and replace in the refrigerator what you took out. If everybody does this consistently, then it just saves time in the long run. Notice how everything is marked on the side as to where it goes in the refrigerator. Be sure to lock the org room door before you leave. This is very, very important. I'm just going to take the keys right back to the cafe. If there are a lot of items that need stocked before you leave, then you're more than happy to take the cart with you so that you have enough space to carry everything and you're not dropping anything on the way there. So now that I'm leaving my cafe shift, I want to make sure that I sign out at the proper space. And then Katie will come over and she's going to sign into the next space, signing out on her way, leaving her cafe shift as well. So you want to make sure the number one rule is that the customers come first, and you really want to be sure to be attentive. Customers are just very put off if you're not giving them attention. And if you're not giving our customers attention, then we're not making money, as you can see in this awful scenario.
Someone help me, please.
Chapter, do you guys remember that? No. And it was like totally really funny. Like that was so shit. Like, oh my god. And that bitch, you know what I mean? Like, OMG. She just doesn't cut it. Doesn't cut it at all. Notice how that when the customer tries to approach the counter with all of the conversation from the loitering brothers, that they can't even hear each other. This is why it's really important to try and keep traffic down as much as possible at the cafe. And on a side note, I don't know if you heard or not, make sure not to be cussing at all, but really just not loud enough to where the customers can hear, because some people might be offended by what you're saying. Notice in this scenario, we're going to have some nice, awesome brothers who are highly attentive to our customers.
Hey, how's it going?
Notice.
What can we get for you? Great.
Taking a special interest into the customer. She's not on her cell phone or talking with Corey. Her main focus right now is the customer. Some basic key words to keep in mind. How are you? Thank you. Please. You're welcome. Have a nice day. All of these things are just basic ideas of customer service that are really easy to do, and making that special effort will really make that customer's day. Also, be sure to stay behind the counter, and while you're behind the counter at your own shift, please don't be eating or drinking. You can have any water substance as long as it has a cap with it. The first thing that you want to do while closing is to make sure to count down the drawer. So this is what we have Corey doing over here. So you want to make sure that the end drawer equals $150. Preferably, try not to have any 20s in the drawer. We want to make sure that we keep at least $80 in ones. Try not to go over that. And we want all the 5s that we can have. So whatever is left over, make sure to put in an envelope, which are located underneath of the counter. You want to be sure to write the amount, date, and your name on the outside of the envelope and put it inside of the safe in the org room. Note, this will actually be done inside of the org room and not out here in the open. So everything that is out here, except for a few items that I'm about to show you, actually go back into the org room. So a few things that stay out here include the cutlery rolling cart, the trash bin, which you need to make sure is emptied every night and put back inside of the blue counter. And also, obviously, this big, nice, lovely table will stay out here as well. All of the coffee supplies, including the microwave and the toaster, will be put back onto this cart and taken back to the org room. Also, you want to make sure that you come up here and take down our lovely banner as well and put that onto the cart as well. be sure to take your closing envelope and put it inside of the safe. Like so. Oh. How do I put it? Do I just slide it in? It doesn't fit. Okay. Just like that. It doesn't fit very well. We're in the process of buying a new safe. Be sure to plug the refrigerator in after you get it inside the org room too.